Championship rings carry weight beyond metal and jewels. They tell stories of sacrifice, teamwork, and sustained excellence. Tonight, rest as we explore the legacies of those who wore the most. Let these quiet triumphs guide you toward peace. In the winter of 1934, a child was born in Monroe, Louisiana, who would redefine what it meant to win. Bill Russell entered a world that did not welcome him easily. His family moved to Oakland, California when he was young, seeking opportunity and escape from the harshest edges of segregation. In Oakland, Russell found basketball, though the game did not immediately find him. He was awkward at first, tall and uncoordinated, cut from his junior high team. But something inside him refused to accept that verdict. He practiced alone, developing an understanding of the game that went beyond scoring. While other players dreamed of points and glory, Russell dreamed of something else entirely. He saw basketball as a puzzle of movement, angles, and timing. He saw that stopping opponents mattered as much as making baskets. At McClymonds High School in Oakland, Russell began to grow into his frame. He was not a star, not a highly recruited prospect, but he caught the attention of the University of San Francisco. There, under coach Phil Woolpert, Russell transformed into something the college game had never quite seen before. He anchored a defense so suffocating that opponents struggled to score 60 points in an entire game. His Dons won 55 consecutive games. They captured back-to-back NCAA championships in 1955 and 1956.
Professional scouts watched with curiosity and confusion. Russell's statistics were impressive in rebounds and blocked shots, but he scored modestly. The NBA of the mid-1950s valued offense above all. Big men were expected to score in the post, to dominate with power and touch around the basket. Russell offered something different, something revolutionary that many teams did not understand or value properly. The St. Louis Hawks selected Russell second overall in the 1956 draft, but they had no intention of keeping him. Red Auerbach, the shrewd coach and architect of the Boston Celtics, orchestrated a trade. He sent Ed Macauley and Cliff Hagan to St. Louis in exchange for Russell's draft rights. It was a bold move, trading proven players for an unproven center whose game defied conventional wisdom. Russell arrived in Boston with the weight of enormous expectations. The Celtics had talented players like Bob Cousy, Bill Sharman, and Tom Heinsohn, but they had never won a championship. Auerbach believed Russell was the missing piece, the defensive anchor who could transform a good team into a dynasty. Russell missed the first 24 games of his rookie season, competing in the Olympics in Melbourne, where he won a gold medal for the United States. When he finally joined the Celtics in December, the transformation began immediately. Boston's defense became suffocating. Russell did not simply block shots, he changed them, redirected them to teammates, turned defense into offense. He rebounded with a ferocity and intelligence that created fast breaks. He communicated constantly, organizing his teammates, anticipating plays before they developed. The Celtics won 44 games that season and surged into the playoffs. In the 1957 NBA Finals, Boston faced the St. Louis Hawks, the team that had traded Russell away. The series went to 7 games, each one a battle of will and execution. In Game 7, played at Boston Garden, Russell grabbed 32 rebounds and altered countless shots. The Celtics won 93-80, claiming the franchise's first championship. Russell, in his rookie season, had delivered what Auerbach promised. But that was only the beginning. The following season, 1957-58, the Celtics returned to the finals, but fell to the Hawks in 6 games. Russell played through pain, injured his ankle in Game 3, and the Celtics could not overcome his diminished mobility. The loss stung deeply. Russell spent the summer replaying every moment, understanding that one championship was not enough, that greatness required sustained excellence. In 1959, the Celtics began a run that the sports world had never witnessed. They swept the Minneapolis Lakers in 4 games to win the championship. Then they won again in 1960, and again in 1961, and again in 1962, and again in 1963, and again in 1964, and again in 1965, and again in 1966. 8 consecutive championships, 8 years without defeat in the ultimate test. Each season brought new challenges. Teams studied Russell's defense, tried to counter it, designed offenses specifically to neutralize his impact. But Russell adapted constantly. He learned to play passing lanes, to leave his man and disrupt plays before they developed, to intimidate without fouling. He turned rebounding into an art form, tracking the ball's trajectory off the rim, positioning himself perfectly, timing his leap to snatch the ball at its highest point.
The 1962 Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers tested Russell's greatness. The series went to 7 games, played in Boston Garden. The Lakers had Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, 2 of the greatest offensive players in history. In Game 7, with the championship hanging in balance, Russell grabbed 40 rebounds. 40. He controlled the glass so completely that the Lakers had almost no second-chance opportunities. Boston won 110-107 in overtime. Russell's performance was transcendent. But Russell's greatness extended beyond statistics. He played through an era of vicious racism, enduring taunts, threats, and indignities that would have broken lesser men. His home in Reading, Massachusetts, was vandalized, obscene messages left in his bedroom. He received death threats before crucial games. Yet, he played with unwavering dignity and excellence, refusing to let hatred diminish his performance or his principles. In 1966, Red Auerbach retired as coach and named Russell as player coach, making him the first black head coach in major American professional sports. Russell took on dual responsibilities, leading from the court and the sideline simultaneously. The Celtics won championships in 1968 and 1969
under his leadership. The 1969 championship was perhaps the most remarkable. Russell was 35 years old, his body worn from 13 seasons of physical battles. The Celtics were considered too old past their prime. They finished fourth in the Eastern Division with a 48-34 record. Few expected them to contend. But in the playoffs, Russell summoned one final surge of greatness. The Celtics defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, then the New York Knicks, advancing to face the Lakers in the finals. The Lakers were heavily favored, boasting Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor. They had won 55 games and seemed destined to finally break through. The series went to 7 games, and in Game 7 at the Forum in Los Angeles, Russell grabbed 21 rebounds and held Chamberlain to just 2 points in the second half. The Celtics won 108-106. Russell had claimed his 11th championship in 13 seasons, a record of sustained excellence that remains unmatched in professional team sports. Russell retired immediately after that game, walking away at the peak of his legacy. He left behind 11 championship rings, 5 MVP awards, and a completely transformed understanding of basketball. He proved that defense could dominate, that teamwork could overcome individual talent, that intelligence and positioning mattered as much as athleticism and scoring. His rings represented more than victories. They represented dignity in the face of hatred, excellence without compromise, leadership that elevated everyone around him. Russell played basketball as if it were a statement about character and principle. He won so consistently, so completely, that his name became synonymous with championship itself. 11 rings in 13 years, the standard by which all team success is measured. The quiet, powerful legacy of a man who understood that true greatness serves something larger than self. Some champions shine with blazing light, dominating headlines and highlight reels. Others achieve greatness through quieter paths, through consistency and clutch moments accumulated over time. Sam Jones belonged to the second category, a player whose excellence was so reliable, so fundamentally sound, that it sometimes went unnoticed until the most crucial moments demanded his presence. Born on June 24, 1933, in Wilmington, North Carolina, Jones grew up in the segregated South, where opportunities for Black athletes were limited and hard-won. He attended North Carolina Central University, a historically Black college where he developed his game away from the spotlight that followed players at predominantly white institutions. Jones was a guard with smooth shooting form, excellent footwork, and an uncommon composure under pressure. The Boston Celtics selected Jones in the first round of the 1957 draft, 8th overall. Red Auerbach saw something in the young guard from North Carolina Central, a poise and shooting touch that could complement the Celtics' emerging dynasty. The Celtics had just won their first championship, and Jones joined a roster loaded with talent: Russell, Bob Cousy, Bill Sharman, Tom Heinsohn. For a young player, the situation presented both opportunity and challenge. The Celtics were already excellent, already champions. Jones would need to find his role, contribute without demanding touches or attention, fit seamlessly into a system that prioritized team success over individual statistics. Many players struggle with such circumstances, unable to suppress ego or showcase their skills within tight constraints. Jones embraced it completely. In his rookie season, he played limited minutes, learning the Celtics system, watching how veterans like Cousy orchestrated the offense and how Russell commanded the defense. Jones was patient, observant, quietly confident that his opportunity would come. In the 1958 playoffs, with the Celtics battling toward another championship, Jones began receiving more playing time. His shooting was reliable, his defense solid, his decision-making mature beyond his experience.
The Celtics lost in the finals that year to St. Louis, but Jones had proven he belonged. The following season, 1958-59, he became a more integral part of the rotation. The Celtics swept the Lakers for the championship, and Jones earned his first ring. He was 25 years old, entering his prime, joining a dynasty that would dominate the decade. Jones developed a signature move that became one of the most reliable shots in basketball, the bank shot. He studied angles with geometric precision, understanding exactly how the ball would carom off the glass, depending on his position and arc. He practiced it endlessly, shooting from various spots on the court, learning the nuances of different arenas and their backboards. The bank shot became his trademark, a weapon he could deploy consistently even when defenders knew it was coming. But Jones's true greatness revealed itself in pressure situations. While he averaged solid numbers during regular seasons, he elevated his game when championships hung in the balance. In the playoffs, Jones became someone different, someone opponents feared in crucial moments. His teammates called him Mr. Clutch before that nickname became associated with Jerry West. Jones earned it first through repeated performances when everything mattered most. In the 1962 finals against the Lakers, with the series tied 3 games apiece, Game 7 went to overtime. The game was played in Boston Garden, and the tension was unbearable. Every possession felt monumental. With seconds remaining and the score tight, Jones hit a crucial jump shot that helped seal Boston's victory. He finished with 27 points, outdueling Jerry West in a game that defined championship mettle. Year after year, Jones delivered. The Celtics won championships in 1959, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. 8 consecutive titles, and Jones was central to each one. He did not always lead the team in scoring or claim headlines, but his contributions were essential. He spaced the floor with his shooting, made correct reads in the offense, defended his position without complaint, and hit shots when the pressure peaked. In the 1965 finals against the Lakers, Jones averaged 26 points per game, showcasing his ability to carry offensive load when needed. In the 1966 finals, again facing the Lakers, he averaged nearly 23 points and provided veteran leadership as the Celtics claimed their 8th straight championship. When Red Auerbach retired and Bill Russell took over as player-coach in 1966, Jones remained a steady presence. The dynasty finally ended in 1967 when the Celtics lost in the Eastern Division Finals to the Philadelphia 76ers. But Jones and the Celtics returned to claim championships in 1968 and 1969, bringing his total to 10 rings in 12 seasons.
The 1969 championship was particularly meaningful for Jones. He was 35 years old, playing his final season. His body had absorbed 12 years of NBA battles, and retirement beckoned. The Celtics were not favored to win, but they marched through the playoffs with championship experience and collective will. In the finals against the Lakers, Jones played crucial minutes, hit important shots, provided leadership that came only from someone who had won 9 times before. In Game 4, with the series tied 1-1, Jones scored 24 points, including several crucial baskets down the stretch that helped Boston even the series. In Game 7, in the hostile environment of the Forum in Los Angeles, Jones contributed 16 points and played with the calm assurance of someone who had been in this exact situation many times before. The Celtics won, and Jones earned his 10th ring, the perfect conclusion to a brilliant career. Jones retired after that championship, walking away with 10 rings, 5 All-Star selections, and a legacy as one of the most clutch players in basketball history. His career scoring average was just under 18 points per game, respectable but not eye-popping. His playoff scoring average was slightly higher, and his finals performances were consistently excellent. But statistics alone could not capture what Jones meant to those Celtics teams. He was the player who did not need the ball in his hands to impact winning. He was the shooter who made defenses pay for focusing too much on Russell or Cousy or Havlicek. He was the veteran who understood exactly what a moment required and delivered without hesitation. He was the champion who won without ego, who embraced his role completely, who understood that greatness comes in many forms. Jones was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1984. His legacy secure. 10 championship rings, second only to Bill Russell in NBA history. A career defined not by individual accolades or statistical dominance, but by winning, by clutch performances, by quiet excellence that accumulated into something undeniable. Sam Jones proved that you do not need to be the loudest voice or the brightest star to be essential to greatness. Sometimes the most important players are those who simply deliver when it matters most, again and again, without fanfare or expectation of glory. Some athletes define a single era. Others bridge multiple generations, their excellence spanning different styles, teams, and circumstances. John Havlicek belonged to the second category, a player whose career connected the Celtics' original dynasty with their resurgence in the 1970s, a testament to adaptability, endurance, and relentless dedication. Havlicek was born on April 8, 1940, in Martins Ferry, Ohio, a small town along the Ohio River. He was the son of Czech immigrants, raised with strong work ethic and humble values. At Bridgeport High School, Havlicek excelled in multiple sports, showing the athletic versatility that would define his basketball career. He accepted a scholarship to Ohio State University,
where he played alongside Jerry Lucas and Bobby Knight under legendary coach Fred Taylor. The Ohio State Buckeyes were dominant in the early 1960s. They won the NCAA championship in 1960, with Havlicek playing crucial minutes as a sophomore. They returned to the championship game in 1961 and 1962, falling short both times, but establishing themselves as one of college basketball's premier programs. Havlicek was not the star. Lucas commanded most attention, but Havlicek was the glue player, the versatile forward who defended multiple positions, ran the floor tirelessly, and made winning plays without needing touches or praise. The Boston Celtics selected Havlicek in the first round of the 1962 draft, 7th overall. Red Auerbach valued his versatility and motor, seeing a player who could contribute immediately to a championship team. Havlicek arrived in Boston as the Celtics were in the middle of their unprecedented run of dominance. Russell anchored the defense. Cousy orchestrated the offense. Sam Jones provided clutch scoring. Havlicek would need to find his niche. Auerbach deployed Havlicek as the sixth man, leading the second unit with energy and all-around play. It was not a demotion. Auerbach's sixth man was often one of the most important players, tasked with maintaining or changing momentum when starters rested. Havlicek embraced the role completely. He played with ferocious energy, defending like his life depended on it, running the floor on every possession, crashing the glass, making the simple play that led to team success.
In his rookie season, the Celtics won the championship, and Havlicek earned his first ring. He averaged 14 points per game, solid production for a rookie on a veteran-laden team. But his impact exceeded his statistics. He brought youthful energy to a team growing older, provided defensive versatility that allowed Boston to switch schemes, and showed a conditioning level that allowed him to play heavy minutes without fatigue. Havlicek's legend truly began on April 15, 1965, in the Eastern Division Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers. The Celtics led the series 3-2, playing Game 6 in Boston Garden. The 76ers had Wilt Chamberlain, Hal Greer, and Chet Walker, and they were desperate to force a Game 7. The game went down to the final seconds, with Boston clinging to a 1-point lead. Philadelphia inbounded the ball from under Boston's basket with 5 seconds remaining. Hal Greer passed the ball inbounds toward Chet Walker. Havlicek, anticipating the play with perfect timing, darted into the passing lane and deflected the ball to Sam Jones, securing the victory. Radio announcer Johnny Most delivered the immortal call. Havlicek stole the ball. Havlicek stole the ball. The moment became one of the most famous in basketball history, cementing Havlicek's reputation for making winning plays. The Celtics won the championship that season, defeating the Lakers in the finals. They won again in 1966. Havlicek had 3 rings in 4 seasons, but his role was evolving. As veteran stars like Bob Cousy and Bill Sharman retired, Havlicek transitioned from sixth man to starter. His scoring increased, His minutes expanded, and his responsibilities grew. He was no longer just a role player. He was becoming a cornerstone.
When Bill Russell retired after the 1969 championship, the Celtics faced an uncertain future. They had lost the greatest winner in basketball history and needed to reimagine themselves. Havlicek, now 29 years old and in his prime, became the franchise's leader. He moved from forward to guard, showcasing the versatility that defined his career. His scoring jumped to 24 points per game, then to 28. The early 1970s were lean years for Boston. They missed the playoffs in 1970, a shocking fall for a franchise accustomed to championships. But they rebuilt around Havlicek, adding players like Dave Cowens and JoJo White. By 1974, they were contenders again, and Havlicek led them back to the finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. The 1974 finals showcased Havlicek at his absolute peak. He averaged 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, playing with the poise and excellence of someone who had won 5 championships already. In Game 6, with the series tied 3 games apiece, Havlicek played all 48 minutes in the double overtime thriller. He scored 16 points, including crucial baskets in both overtime periods, and grabbed 8 rebounds. The Celtics won 102-87, claiming the championship. Havlicek was named Finals MVP at age 34, validation of his sustained excellence.
2 years later, in 1976, the Celtics returned to the finals, facing the Phoenix Suns. Havlicek was now 36, his body bearing the cumulative toll of 14 NBA seasons. But he played with the same relentless energy that defined his career. In the famous Game 5 triple overtime classic, Havlicek played 58 of the game's 63 minutes, scoring 22 points. The Celtics won that game 128-126 and went on to claim the championship in 6 games. Havlicek's 8th ring, earned at age 36, completed a remarkable career that spanned 2 distinct Celtics eras. He had played with Russell's dynasty in the 1960s and led the resurgent Celtics of the 70s. He retired in 1978 with statistics that reflected sustained greatness. Over 26,000 career points, more than 8,000 rebounds, 6,000 assists. He was a 13-time All-Star, an 11-time NBA selection, and an 8-time NBA champion. But numbers alone could not capture Havlicek's impact. He played with a motor that never stopped, running the floor on every possession, defending with desperate intensity, diving for loose balls, making the hustle plays that often meant the difference between winning and losing. His conditioning was legendary. He could play heavy minutes deep into games without visible fatigue,
outlasting younger opponents through sheer will and preparation.
Havlicek's 8 championships placed him third all-time, behind only Bill Russell and Sam Jones. He bridged 2 generations of Celtics excellence, proving that sustained greatness requires adaptability and evolution. He began as a 6th man, became a superstar, and finished as a savvy veteran still capable of championship-level play. He embodied the Celtics' culture of winning through teamwork, effort, and collective purpose. When Boston retired his number 17 jersey, it joined other Celtics legends in the Garden rafters. Havlicek was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1984. He remained connected to the franchise throughout his life, a living symbol of what the Celtics represented: excellence, endurance, and winning without compromise. 8 rings earned across 16 seasons, each one a testament to a career built on relentless effort and unwavering commitment to team success.
Passion burns differently in different people. Some athletes compete with cool calculation, others with fiery emotion that spills over into every moment. Tom Heinsohn belonged to the second category, a player whose love for basketball and for winning expressed itself through intensity, physicality, and an emotional connection to the game that never dimmed. Heinsohn was born on August 26, 1934, in Jersey City, New Jersey. He grew up in a working-class neighborhood where basketball was played on asphalt courts with chain nets and fierce competition. He attended Holy Cross College in Worcester, Massachusetts, where he developed into one of the nation's premier forwards. He was a scoring forward with range, physicality, and competitiveness that made him a coveted prospect. The Boston Celtics selected Heinsohn with a territorial pick in the 1956 draft, the same draft in which they acquired Bill Russell through trade. The combination would prove transformative. Heinsohn joined a roster that included Bob Cousy, Bill Sharman, and now Russell, forming the core of what would become basketball's greatest dynasty. Heinsohn's rookie season was immediately successful. He averaged 16 points and 10 rebounds per game, earning Rookie of the Year honors. More importantly, the Celtics won the championship, defeating the St. Louis Hawks in 7 games. In that Game 7, Heinsohn scored 37 points and grabbed 23 rebounds, a performance that announced his arrival as a championship-level player. But Heinsohn was more than statistics. He played with an edge, a physical toughness that set the tone for Boston's approach. He was not the tallest forward or the most athletic, but he carved out space with his body, fought for rebounds, and took charges without hesitation. He complemented Russell's defensive brilliance with offensive aggression, providing the scoring punch that allowed Russell to focus on defense and rebounding. Over the next 8 seasons, Heinsohn was a central figure in Boston's unprecedented run of championships. The Celtics won in 1957, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, and 65. 8 championships in 9 seasons, with Heinsohn playing a starring role throughout. He averaged between 15 and 22 points per game during those years, providing consistent scoring alongside Sam Jones and John Havlicek. Heinsohn's game was built on toughness and shooting. He had an effective hook shot, solid mid-range jumper, and a willingness to take contact and get to the free throw line. He was not graceful or elegant. He was effective and relentless. He crashed the offensive glass, dove for loose balls, and played through pain without complaint. His teammates respected his competitiveness, and opponents learned to respect his physicality. The 1957 finals performance remained the highlight of his playing career. 37 points in Game 7 to clinch the championship was the kind of moment that defines legacies. But Heinsohn contributed crucial performances throughout the dynasty. In the 1960 finals against the Hawks, he averaged 23 points per game. In the 1964 finals against the Warriors, he averaged close to 20 points and provided veteran leadership. By 1965, Heinsohn's body was wearing down. He had played 9 seasons of physical, demanding basketball, and the cumulative toll was significant. He retired after the 1965 championship at age 30, walking away with 8 rings and a playing career that would earn him Hall of Fame induction.
But Heinsohn's connection to the Celtics and to winning did not end. After several years away from the game, he returned to coaching, taking over the Celtics in 1969. The team he inherited was in transition, with Bill Russell having just retired. Heinsohn rebuilt around young stars like Dave Cowens and JoJo White, alongside veteran leader John Havlicek. Heinsohn's coaching style reflected his playing personality: intense, emotional, demanding. He pushed his players relentlessly, expecting the same commitment to winning that defined his own career. He was not interested in moral victories or moral lessons. He wanted championships. His passion sometimes spilled over into technical fouls and arguments with referees, but his players responded to his authenticity and his expertise. In the 1973-74 season, Heinsohn coached the Celtics to a 56-26 record and back to the finals. They faced the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The series went to 7 games, with Boston winning the championship. Heinsohn had earned his 9th ring, his first as a coach. He coached with the same intensity he played with, stalking the sideline, demanding excellence, celebrating victories with unrestrained joy. 2 years later, in 1976, Heinsohn's Celtics returned to the finals against the Phoenix Suns. The series produced one of the greatest games in NBA history, the triple overtime thriller in Game 5. Heinsohn coached through the tension with characteristic passion, managing minutes, making adjustments, trusting his veterans in crucial moments. The Celtics won the championship in 6 games, giving Heinsohn his 10th ring overall and his 2nd as head coach.
Heinsohn coached the Celtics through 1978, finishing with a coaching record of 427 wins and 263 losses. He won 2 championships and earned respect as a coach who understood winning at the highest level. After leaving coaching, he transitioned to broadcasting, becoming the Celtics' television color commentator for nearly 40 years. As a broadcaster, Heinsohn's passion remained undimmed. He was openly biased toward the Celtics, celebrating their successes and lamenting their failures with genuine emotion. He was not trying to be neutral. He was expressing a lifetime of love for the franchise and the game. Fans adored his authenticity, his knowledge, and his willingness to say exactly what he felt. Heinsohn's 10 championships, 8 as a player and 2 as a coach, placed him in rare company. Only 3 people in NBA history have won championships both as a player and as a head coach for the same franchise: Bill Russell, Tom Heinsohn, and Billy Cunningham. Heinsohn's 10 total rings tied him with Sam Jones for second most in league history. But Heinsohn's legacy extended beyond rings. He represented a certain approach to the game: passionate, physical, competitive, joyful. He played and coached and broadcast with his heart fully invested, never holding back, never pretending to be something he was not. He loved basketball deeply, and that love expressed itself through intensity and commitment. The Boston Celtics retired his number 15 jersey, and he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame twice, once as a player in 1986 and once as a coach in 2015. He remained connected to the franchise until his death in 2020, a living link to the dynasty that defined basketball excellence. Tommy Heinsohn won 10 championships and touched 5 decades of Celtics basketball. He played with Russell and Cousy, coached Cowens and Havlicek, and broadcast for Pierce and Garnett. His passion for winning, for the Celtics, and for the game itself never diminished. 10 rings earned through playing and coaching, each one a reflection of a man who competed with his whole heart and loved basketball with unshakable devotion.
Championship rings are not merely symbols of victory. They represent sacrifice, teamwork, resilience through adversity, and excellence sustained over time. Russell's 11, Jones' 10, Havlicek's 8, Heinsohn's 10. Each ring tells a story. Each story speaks of something larger than the game itself. Rest now, inspired by their legacies, peaceful in the knowledge that greatness comes through dedication to something beyond yourself.